confidence back, your belief, is getting your match kind of tournament practice back. You know, the amount of tournaments Momota's played over the last 12 months really isn't many. He's only got 9, as I said, on his world ranking. You look at Angus compared to him, Angus got 18. There's a big difference, and it's going to be interesting. No one really knows.
Yeah, you mentioned playing this year.
Heads are like fairly recent, sorry.
Yeah.
Then I would say 100%. And if you've played that player, that pair, in a similar venue, head-to-heads, especially if they're very one-sided. And the other interesting thing is if the world rankings are significantly different. So let's say you've got a pair that are ranked 8 in the world. I'd say this one we obviously need to take with quite a large pinch of salt because Momota obviously has a phenomenal head-to-head of 7-0.
Yes.
But the key is first round. So he hasn't played enough matches to get into a groove, to get into a rhythm, and really see what level he's playing at. And Angus is a tricky character because he's such a hard-working. Yes. It's not easy to win the point against him. Angus is incredibly disciplined. He's going to have doubt in his mind of can he get back to what he was? And he's chasing the other 2 Japanese players that are a fair bit ahead of him in the world rankings, and that's the wrong Momota to be able to overtake one of his Japanese teammates or to get himself considerably up the world rankings.
It's a good start here.
But yeah, the way the game started.
Kento Momota has only ever lost 5 of those. He knows pressure is on him, even though
the ability to win matches back, it takes time, and it takes tournaments. And this is almost the worst timing in a way because when you increase the pressure by Momota possibly, slipping out of the top 32 in the world and having to maybe play a few lower graded tournaments, he's got that pressure, and then he's also got to overtake. Unfortunate. I remember hearing it. I felt so sorry for him because it's horrific timing that it happened. And for him, I really hope he can find a way of getting that belief back, that confidence back, and
it's really
himself
sad.
back to that level or even close to it, and getting himself to be able to consistently play tournaments, because that's not what we've had over the last 12 months, and that's, you know, a big reason why he's only got 9 tournaments on his world ranking. Momota at the moment, at any point really in that first half, has shown how he can be dangerous, how he can trouble Ung Kar-long. The pace for me that he's... No, it shouldn't be. No. In men's singles, if the lift is incredibly short and you're playing someone with an incredibly high skill level and they are incredibly deceptive, yes, that can happen. But we're talking about Angus, who is a very hard...
Yeah. I would agree with that assessment.
Me sat up here in a, you know, miles away in a comfortable seat, you know, but if I'm just watching him, I'm not 100% sure he believes that he can
scale the heights again.
Yeah, but
accepted.
I mean, it was very chilled the way he put his hand up. But I would say, personally, I don't think it was long enough.
Right.
That's a brilliant shot. The score's 6-15.
Yeah, he's left himself a lot to do, hasn't he? Angus Ung Kar-long, this is it, isn't it?
Definitely. And if I was Ung Kar-long, I'd just be thinking, well, if I'm just consistent, if I'm hard working, if I'm disciplined in my shot selection, if I make my
Now he's got a whopping
player, and I think he will to an extent because of the ends, but he's got to show his opponent that he believes.
Okay.
So a very good first game.
A slightly different player, or drastically different player to be honest, but the end will favour him with the drift. He can't be as passive.
And I mean from
working perfectly. I mean, Angus's work rate is very impressive. He's brilliant.
yeah, excellent.
You know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him.
He's finding his marks. He's hitting.
If he wants to be the second-ranked Japanese player, which currently is Nishimoto, ranked 11 in the world.
Oh, that's hard, isn't it?
We're talking worlds apart here. We're talking a massive, massive difference from what we're seeing out here to get to 11 in the world. And it is a big ask. And I don't know if he maybe feels this weight on his shoulders of how big the challenge is for him to qualify for the Olympics.
And it's a super one.
Quarter-final, semi-final. You know, he's right back in the hunt because Olympic qualifying has only just started, and the results from now on are the integral ones. Impressive from taking the shuttle early, making his opponent take it late and putting pressure on. And I wouldn't say Momota at the moment is stressing Angus whatsoever.
Oh yeah, he thought twice about that. Might be. He doesn't quite judge it like he did. He never got consecutive points in the last game, Chris. Kento Momota, and he's already got 2 in a row here, so that's... I suppose...
It's going to be interesting how it unfolds. I think the key is the key. Momota's got to stay close. If he gives Angus too big a lead, winning the first game and then having... And this is the thing, so Angus in the first make Angus feel uncomfortable, it could happen. But I'd say in the last few rallies, it's more Angus just making those few unforced errors rather than Momota doing something of a really, really high level.
Nicely done by... How is that off-putting as well? Does that, or you're so in the zone it doesn't really matter? It's huge.
To be honest, yeah, you are in the zone. Otherwise, if you hear everything before you know it, you know, you're hearing someone shouting on the next court, you're in the crowd shout. You know, I'm going to be honest, I was so zoned in when I would play in a hall like this, I couldn't hear my coach or my partner. You're kind of in your own world, which on one hand's a good thing, but another one isn't, because you can't hear your coach giving you instructions. But it's just because the noise is, you know, it's so loud from such a passionate crowd.
Do you remember?
It's such an amazing arena, and I did hear that possibly there's a chance this could be the last year that it's actually played in this hall.
Yes, there's a new one around the corner. It is in.
Correction, in.
The unforced errors from Angus this second game. I'm just a bit, we didn't see really any of those mistakes in the first game from Angus. So
right.
The drift's obviously playing a bigger part than is obviously visible in regards to touch as well. The shuttle's holding up at the net, so that when you're playing a controlled shot, maybe it's just the wind's holding up, so people are a bit more tense when they're trying to push it to the net or play a net shot.
Because we've seen that time.
You want the shuttle to go forwards, where it's not possible. You've got to keep your body weight going in the direction you want the shuttle to go to make sure the shuttle. That's a great shot from Momota.
And that gives him in the first game. Wrong foots, no longer rallies we've had.
Angus is really now trying to take the net away from Momota. Just pushing everything to the back, making him work hard.
Could you expand on that?
Great shot there, skill. But he's just, I would almost say putting a shift in, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
He's working incredibly hard, so that he's just making life very difficult for Momota. Except for that, he's gone back into his style, which is, I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to make my opponent move. I'm not going to give anything easy. That was plumb on the line.
Which will explain the explosion of noise that we have at the moment.
I think that one was drifting out, but Angus took it.
It's noticeable, Chris. That
we just had an Indonesian pair, one on another court, and sorry, I couldn't catch what you said there.
I was asking, do you think it's
struggling with the longer rallies? Then I would say it's a sensible tactic. Obviously, he doesn't want to overly fatigue himself also, because obviously it could go to 3 games and then it turns into an incredibly long match. And if Angus was to eventually prevail and
he looked frustrated with himself here. Momota. He wouldn't have played that.
Right, it's just a very different player. Now, is that he's not fully fit? Is that he doesn't believe? This is now a close game. Whereas if he didn't make those, I don't think Momota has consistently brought enough to the second game to really threaten Angus. Now, I could well be wrong, because Momota, for a period of time in his career, it's a cheap point again.
Yeah.
But he just looks tired.
The umpire of the match, Indonesia. Now please welcome Red Xiang Yu and Park Jian. China.
Okay.
And Kalong, for the first time ever, has beaten